Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sotonye Afiesimana and this is Today in History for the 28th of June. The year is 1389 and it's the Battle of Kosovo. This battle is between the Ottomans and the Serbian army, and the Ottomans won this battle. It opens the way for the Ottoman conquest of southeastern Europe. So that's the Battle of Kosovo, painting of the Battle of Kosovo on this day in 1389. Now the Ottomans occupied what's Turkey today and probably a lot bigger than Turkey today, present day Turkey. That was the Ottoman Empire. So this was one of the battles that led to the expansion, which happened on this day in 1389. Let's move on to the year 1703. This guy called John Wesley was born on this day. He was a co-founder of the Methodist movement and was born in Epworth, Lincolnshire, England. He died on the 2nd of March, 1791 at the age of 87. That's John Wesley, co-founder of the Methodist movement, born on this day in 1703. We move on now to the United States, and it's a man called James Madison, which most Americans would recognize. He died on this day in 1836, and he was the fourth president of the United States, serving from the 4th of March 1809 to the 4th of March 1817. He was preceded by Thomas Jefferson and succeeded by James Monroe. Previously serving as Secretary of State under Thomas Jefferson, Madison succeeded his boss as president in 1809. He is known commonly as the father of the Constitution for playing a crucial role in the drafting of the U.S. Constitution and author of the U.S. Bill of Rights. Madison was one of the leaders of the movement to ratify the Constitution, and his work with John Jay and Alexander Hamilton produced the Federalist Papers, which stands as one of the most significant works in support of the Constitution. As Secretary of State, he presided over the Louisiana Purchase, which at the time doubled the size of the United States. A popular precedent with historians, Madison's term in office saw growing prosperity for several years. The War of 1812 occurred during his presidency and was a stalemate. It helped to change his opinion on a national bank and a strong central government, which he came to support. He was born on the 16th of March, 1751, in Port Conway, Virginia, United States of America. So that is James Madison for you, born on this day died on this day in 1836. My apologies. We move on to the year 1838. So exactly 2 years later, we had the coronation in England of Queen Victoria. This happened in Westminster Abbey in London on this day. On this day, also, in 1846, the saxophone is patented by Antoine Joseph Adolphe, in quote, Sax. 1914, terrible thing happened. Franz Ferdinand, the Archduke of Austria, and his wife Sophie, pictured here in this painting, are assassinated in Sarajevo by a young Serb nationalist, Gavrilo Princip, at 10:45 a.m. This was the cause of World War I. This was how World War I, or why the First World War started. Let's move on to the year 1919. So exactly 5 years later, possibly to commemorate the assassination of Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie, the Treaty of Versailles was signed, ending World War I. Even though it officially ended in 1918, this treaty was signed on this day in 1919. The League of Nations was also established on this day in France. So this is a document to commemorate that day. It's a newspaper cut out, and just move that so you can see the whole thing. Yeah, treaty signed, war over, Treaty of Versailles. Okay, so we move on to the next item. Next slide. 1919, on this day, the 33rd President of the United States, Harry Truman, got married to Elizabeth Truman. She was 34 and he was 35. The marriage took place in Independence. 1964, on this day, Malcolm X forms the Organization for Afro-American Unity. He did this 6 weeks after he returned to New York from Africa. So, the Organization of African Unity, Organization for Afro-American Unity, OAAU, was formed on this day in 1964. Then this entrepreneur, born in South Africa, Canadian citizenship and USA citizenship as well. His name is Elon Musk. His birthplace was Pretoria, Transvaal, South Africa, like I mentioned earlier. He's 49 years old today. He's an engineer, inventor, and investor focused on the technology, transport, and space industries. He's a founder of SpaceX, co-founder of Zip2, PayPal, and Tesla Motors, and chairman of Solar City. That's Elon Musk, billionaire Elon Musk for you. Pictured right here. Born on this day in 1971. Happy birthday, Elon Musk. Let's move on now to an actress born in America on this day as well, Tichina Arnold. That's what she looks like. She's best known for her role as Pamela James in Martin, as well as her current role as the matriarch, Rochelle, in Everybody Hates Chris. She was born in Queens, New York, on this day. 1976, the Luanda trial verdict. So, this is courtesy Associated Press. It's the year 1976. This happened on this day. It's a trial of the mercenary soldiers who were executed on this day.
Yes, no, no. Next time up, they let us make a 10-week. Está aberta a audiência.
Finally.
Luanda, capital of newly independent Angola. When the Portuguese ruled here, this was the Chamber of Commerce. But for the past week, it's been the courthouse in a unique and dramatic trial. The men in the dock are mercenaries, soldiers of fortune who fought in Angola's civil war, which ended earlier this year. Their leader was Kostas Georgiou, who went under the name of Colonel Callan. Although Greek Cypriot born, he's now a naturalized Briton. 8 of the others are British, 1 is Irish, 2 are American, and 1 is Argentinian. They were paid to fight against the MPLA, the movement which won the Civil War and which now runs Angola. Having been captured in action, they've now been charged with crimes against peace and against Angola.
So, guys, so that's the trial. 1976.
As the mercenaries faced their charges, there was one man who was not in court, even though his name cropped up time and again. He was another Englishman, John Banks, a former private in Britain's parachute regiment. He acted as recruiting sergeant for Holden Roberto's FNLA, one of the groups battling the MPLA. It was Banks who sent the mercenaries to Angola in the first place.
Right, we'll end it there. Finally, last but not least, this is the famous or infamous Bakke decision, which the Supreme Court ruled on this day, which affected racial quotas in education and industry. It's an interesting case because this was a story of this guy who, at the age of 33, sought to be admitted to study medicine. Now, he had served his country, the United States of America, in Vietnam. He had done all these other things, scored very highly. And all he wanted to do was to study medicine because his experience in Vietnam had deepened his love for medicine, for helping people. His stepmother was ill as well during this time. And I guess he thought that him studying medicine or becoming a medical doctor would potentially give him the skills he would need to help her. He was a white guy. So this is a very sensitive case because obviously the African American students felt that he should not be admitted. I guess there was a quota system going at the time where those from disadvantaged backgrounds were given a bit of an upper hand, if you like, so that there is some sort of proportional representation in the university and in American society as well. When they graduate, they start, they take the positions of responsibility in society. Now, but in this case, Bakke was being discriminated against because of his age and possibly because of his race. Now, because the vast majority of students in universities around the United States are white Americans. Also, very likely, they are overrepresented compared to the distribution, the percentage distribution in the population of the United States. So this was to redress that situation. Essentially, minorities being underrepresented. I also hear that Asians who are admitted into this university and possibly most universities in the United States are overrepresented. So in their case, it was almost like they were given a leg up as well because they were Asian, and they tried to maybe close the gap at the time because maybe Asians were underrepresented. So, but these black students felt that Bakke shouldn't be admitted because that would flout the law at the time. I don't know the details of this case, but my own personal opinion was that, or is that, no one should be discriminated on because of their age or race. He passed all the exams he needed to pass to be admitted into medical school, so he should be admitted irrespective of his race. That's my position on this case, the Barkey case. You can read about it on Wikipedia. It's quite interesting. It's a lengthy one. But yeah, he eventually got admitted and qualified as a medical doctor at the age of 42. On that note, we shall end today in history for the 28th of June. I'll see you tomorrow, June 29th, for Today in History. Don't forget to like this video if you like it. Just give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe by clicking the notification bell so that you get notified of my video uploads. Thanks again for watching. Stay safe, guys. Bye-bye.